I'm Bill DeFoi, and welcome to In the Community. With me right now is Faith Friedlander. And Faith, you're a part of an organization called Kids and Family Together. And so tell us a little bit about your role and what the organization is all about.
Okay, thank you, Bill. I'm excited that you wanted to even talk about kids and families with me. So my role is I'm a co-founder and I'm the clinical vice president of Kids and Families Together. And we opened our doors in January of 2000 with the whole purpose of supporting families that have come together by adoption, foster care, and kinship care. The families that we work with generally are coming here with trauma and with a lot of upset within their family, whether the child has been removed from the family and now is coming to live with them, or the child is just gotten back with a family member after not having some time in the family. So we try to support them in a variety of ways to help them to build a better relationship, to help them to get what they need to become a successful family.
So these blended families, that's basically what you're dealing with here, have certain issues that people may not feel connected, even though they are, for all intents and purposes, a family.
Correct. And so we try to help them to find healthier ways of building that connection again, because our belief system is that these children need connections of anybody who's important to them. They need to find a way to keep that person within the family. So we work hard at building safe connections between people. And I would say that's probably one of the things that makes us different from other places, is that we hold so strongly the importance of all the family members and how to help them to feel seen and heard and understood, and to begin to rebuild what maybe they've never even had within their family.
Now, do you provide counseling services?
We do. We provide counseling services, and we go in home to provide counseling services. And we work with the kids, we work with the caregivers, we work with the caregiver and the child together to help build a more secure relationship between them.
I would think that going into the home would provide a whole set of dynamics that you may not see here in the office.
That's very true. And that is something that is of value. And so the other thing that we provide is we have groups. We have like kinship support groups. So say that you're a grandparent or you're an aunt or an uncle and you're raising this child, you get to be with other people that are doing this service as well. Because so often this happens right at a time when maybe you should be thinking about retirement, but instead you're raising your children's children. So when they get to all be together in this environment and they share ideas and they support one another, that's another way that we really support our community and the people in it. We also do a lot of things like having drives where we'll give, have a backpack giveaway, or we have a whole variety of ways that we try to support the children within these families to have what they need. Because usually all of these families are really struggling financially when they take on these children with all of these special needs.
Well, very good. Now, how important are members of the extended family? You mentioned grandparents, perhaps aunts, uncles, cousins, in-laws, bylaws, outlaws.
Right. That's really a good question. Our belief is that it not only takes a village to raise a child, it takes a loving village to raise a child. So if you're constantly stressed out, you're not going to be that loving village. So we try to provide services to help reduce their stress so that they can show up differently for their family members so that they do feel really loved and supported and valued. It's so important how much people need other people. And we really know that at Kids and Families Together. So we try to be for one another like how we want for our families. And so we really try to provide that loving connection that is so needed to help families heal.
What about difficult children? How do you cope with those?
Well, that's a very interesting question because, again, when you have trauma, you're going to have difficult behaviors. However, we don't see the behavior as what we want to focus on. We focus on what's beneath the behavior. So, in other words, if you're terrified, you may show a behavior of aggression. You may show a behavior of fear. It could come out in different ways. But what we want to do is try to understand that fear. We're going to try to really know, we're going to help from that point of view. And then we believe then the behaviors will change and improve. Does that make sense?
That makes a lot of sense. Now, perhaps you can describe maybe one or two success stories that you've had here at Kids and Family Together.
Absolutely. So let me think for a second. Okay, for example, we have had, let's say we'll have a child that comes in and they're aggressive towards their caregiver. And often we will meet with the caregiver and the child, and we will help them to begin to have fun together, to play together. Because when you come into the world and you have a loving, caring mother, let's say, or a father, but a caregiver, they play with you. They show you through their eyes that they're enjoying you. So these kids have generally missed out on that really important first connection that they need. So they come in with a caregiver who's showing them how angry they are all the time. So then that increases the child's anger, the caregiver's anger. So we try to shift that around by having them have in the moment of experiences of enjoying one another. And what we find is that it does almost instantly begin to shift some of these behaviors, along with helping both the caregiver and the child to understand about their history that's made these challenges come up for them. So we not only just educate the caregivers about trauma and what kids need when they've experienced trauma, we help the kids to understand their histories as well so that they can have a new and different experience.
I would imagine that you would have perhaps a number of grateful parents and caregivers that have come back and said, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Well, I think yes, and then they often become a part of our family that helps other families because we also have peer caregivers too that go out who have lived through this and come out the other side, and then they help families too. So we have clinical people, but we also have peer people who have lived it and also help our families.
I would think that the families that get the care from a peer member could be really open because they understand that other individual has lived it, they've seen it, they've experienced it.
Right, absolutely. That's so true. We also have a program where we now get to, they're calling foster parents now resource parents. So they've changed that title. And we get to do the initial training for new resource parents and even people who are kinship, taking care of grandkids or whatever. They have to take this training as well. Well, because we get to be on this cutting edge of this training, we get to provide people right at the beginning with understanding why these kids have challenging behaviors and what they need and how we can really, really help them. And so the end of that training, they always end with a panel, and they have a birth parent, they have a child who's grown up in foster care, they have an adoptive parent. So they have everybody who's been a part of the system talk about their own experience and the importance of these relationships. So people come through that training and they feel like they begin to really get what it means to be what we call a therapeutic caregiver.
Well, it sounds like with these people that help in the caregiving and the mentors can really just come along and walk alongside and, again, draw on their experience.
Absolutely. Absolutely. There's nothing like the person who's lived it in the trenches too, and they have so much credibility. And we have some incredible people that work at Kids and Families Together that really get it deeply, and then they help our newest families that are coming here for help to begin to feel like somebody really wants to help, somebody really wants to understand what our family's going through. So those are where we get success stories. Often the success stories say, for the first time, I felt like somebody really listened to me. For the first time, somebody really, really wanted to help us in a way that was really different. And we didn't feel judged. We didn't feel blamed. And that matters. It's really different. If you really show up and you have an authentic caring for this family, they know the difference. And so I do think that's something that Kids and Families Together really, really works deeply in being that for our own family here at Kids and Families, for our families that we support, and then out in the world. It's really important as our culture at Kids and Families.
I would imagine that with children especially, they want to be heard.
Correct. They need to be heard. They need to be seen. They need to have somebody say, I love you on your worst day, not just on your best day. And that's so important, that it's not your behavior that's going to make me be there for you. It's because you matter. So that experience of really giving them that they matter over and over. And it has to be genuine. And that's what we do with babies in a healthy family. What do you do but show up every day with excitement, with this new little being? Well, we say when this child comes into your home, you need to see them as that new little being. And no matter what they've gone through, you've got to want to show them that they matter.
One of the things that I have discovered about Kids and Families Together is you've got a therapy dog. Let's talk about that big Burmese mountain dog.
Oh my gosh, Charles the therapy dog. You know, so Rachel, who brought Charles the therapy dog to Kids and Families Together, she had planned this. She picked him out as a puppy. She went through all the trainings with him. And all of us, we love Charles, and he helps all of us to feel better every day. It's like the work is hard. Some of the stories we hear are absolutely so hard to hear, but there's something about laying with Charles or having him come and put his head in your lap or come to get some food that just makes us all feel calmer and like, okay, we can do this. And the kids love him. I mean, he's so sweet. Yes, we're so lucky to have Charles, the therapy dog.
Very gentle, and
Very gentle.
I call him the gentle giant.
He is. He's the gentle giant, and we're so lucky. And he is here with us quite a bit. with his mommy, Rachel.
Wonderful. Now, we're just about at the end of our time, and so I want you to look at Caitlin over there and tell people about the website. Give us the website address and a phone number for more information.
Okay, and if you need anything, definitely call Kids and Families Together, and our number is 805-643-1446, and our website is www.kids, Kids, and families, FAMILIES, families.org, O-R-G. So we hope to hear from you.
Faith, thank you so much.
Thank you, Bill, for wanting to do this with me. I really appreciate it.
I'm Bill DeFoi. We've been visiting with Faith Friedlander from Kids and Families Together. And thank you for watching. This has been a production of the Heritage Media Group.